Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports. You already know what it is. I thought it was important to try to jump on live stream tonight and politic with the people. Listen, the Knicks, we rolling, we moving and grooving right now. The Indiana Pacers look like they was turning the tables on us, but it's been a shocking turn of events. The Knicks right now, they got their foot all the way up. The Indiana Pacers is 84-64. So the blowout has shifted completely. You understand? Obviously, it was when they went to Indy, it looked like the Knicks almost forgot how to play the game of basketball in the previous game. But now got the Indiana Pacers, Rick Carlisle scrambling. The Knicks, they make mistakes, so I'm not going to sit up here and throw the bouquet up right now. You still got a couple more minutes left in the third, and then you got a whole entire fourth quarter. But hopefully the Knicks can continue to strike them and have Indiana make some tough decisions and sit everybody down. Oh, my goodness, DiVincenzo came in and saved it with a big-time putback with a dunk. That was big time. It's 86-64. Give major props to our New York Knicks. Something going on with DiVincenzo and Turner. Are they about to fight? It's going down. It's going down in New York City, ladies and gentlemen. It's going down.
Whoa. Hold on.
Ready to knock DiVincenzo out.
Whoa.
Yo, do that in New York.
No, hold on. Yeah, hold on. What did you say? Our Knicks?
New York, yeah.
Hold on, you said our Knicks?
But that's what you like to see. What Miles Turner bitching and moaning about?
No, I was just listening to that show.
He trying to come at, man, they lucky we ain't got our boys in here. You know, they're running amok right now. We ain't got our players. Listen, I got Phonics in the building. New York City is in the house. Phonics was good.
I mean, I'm chilling, but look, don't be bad talking my Knicks. That's number one. I was listening to your show Sunday. You know what I'm saying? And folks is praising like you really a Knicks fan like that. Don't they know that you're not a Knicks fan really? They don't realize that, huh?
Oh, come on, man, stop this.
Now it's okay if you like them right now. I understand. You know what I'm saying? Because you are from a part of New York. It's not really considered. It's not one of the 5 boroughs. You know what I'm saying? But you're from a part of New York, very far from that area. But it's all good, man. The Knicks are gonna win this series. Yo, we're going to the Eastern Conference Finals, and that's a great accomplishment for us, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't see us beating the Celtics, and that's okay right now. And DiVincenzo told him "F you." That's what he told him. I just read his lips. But yo, man, it's great, man, that everybody's coming out to see the Knicks, man. I love to see Carmelo there because he can actually look back at his life and see something that he can never accomplish.
Yeah, man, so I ain't gonna allow you to listen. I ain't gonna allow all this Melo slander. You understand, Melo? Now you can't bring up Amari Stoudemire.
Nah, we're not doing that.
Well, I am. You know,
he robbed the bank without a gun.
No, Melo came to play with Amari. He never got that opportunity. But
Melo was one of the original players, the original superstars before Dame, before Bradley Beal, to take constant money from a team knowing that they were not prepared to win. But he took it for the money. He was one of the original ones to do that. And he knew he wasn't going to get a ring out of it. Just like Bradley Beal's not going to get a ring out of it, nor is Dame. They took all that money all these years, and now they want to win. And they're not going to win. So that's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. Big shout out to Uncle Vern, too.
Shout out, Big Unc, man. I got Purple in the house with us tonight. Purple, baby, what's good? You see what's going on? We got Knicks basketball. You know, my Knicks, we back in the play.
It's not your Knicks.
What's going on with Turner? Was double text? Purple gonna be with us. Purple, let me know you take your mic off mute. But all the people that's joining is
That's
64,
good.
86.
That's good. Like that's old school Knicks Pacers basketball. Yeah, we need that fire. That's that old school, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the Davis boys. That's Reggie Miller. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley. Word. Yeah, that's that old school Knicks ball, man. So yeah, I like to see they should be fired up a little bit. Come on, man. It's the playoffs. Everything is on the line right now. You know what I'm saying? The Indiana's one game away from going to the house. And unfortunately, the
Well,
next game is
no, not yet. They could be one game from going to the house. They still got the series is tied. At the game, I
that's
don't
what
know.
I'm saying. Yeah,
After this, there'll be
yeah,
one game if they lose.
that's what I meant. That's what I said, sir. Yeah, that's what I meant. I said they're one game away from going to the house. So if the Knicks win this, they're one game away. And unfortunately, this next game will be in New York yet again.
Yep, yeah, that's why I said no matter what, Game 7 is in New York. Clearly, I don't know. Game 7 in New York, that I kind of get a little nervous. You know, just like I said, it's the Garden. You know, it's a stage. You know, but I will say Halliburton. I don't want to knock on wood. I don't want to talk too soon. As a New Yorker, you know, you got to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. But it looked like Halliburton looked a little rattled out there. He looked a little nervous. I don't want to say that, but he just don't look like he looked like he needed another year or two. You know, New York, this stage is another level up in New York City. It's not like Indianapolis. You know, so that's what I'm noticing. You know, all these
We hear
stars, you
people.
got Spike standing up. It's too
We
much
hear
going on.
people.
I see
We
Buster
hear
Rhymes.
people.
I
You
see
gonna
Mello
see?
right there too. Now that you said that,
Yeah, yo, ain't this something? Yo, chat. Ain't this?
Marbury there. I see Latrell. You got Latrell.
Yeah,
All the Knicks
Starberry
legends
there.
is there.
Yeah, yeah. Except for Oakley. Except for
Yeah,
Oakley because they
Oakley.
didn't invite him back in
I don't
there.
know why Oakley gonna come out with some bullshit like that in the midst of all this New York Knicks love. Why would Oakley come out with that
Word,
bullshit? You know,
word.
all
Yeah,
this
word,
negative energy out there. That's crazy.
word,
Purple, what's
word. Yeah,
good?
Nothing much.
You see what's going on with the New York Knicks?
What did I tell you?
Yeah, you did. I was a little nervous.
you did. I was listening when you said it, Purple. I was listening when you said it.
I was nervous. You know, I'm still not ready to celebrate. You know, just as a Knicks fan, every time we start getting up, we start jumping for joy. Some bullshit happens. You know,
But
Purple, he's not a Knicks fan, Purple. I didn't know this man since 2020. He's not a Knicks fan, Purple. Don't believe him.
no, I'm a Knicks fan, man. It's just the Knicks that crossed me so much. It's just
He's a
you
Players fan. He's a Players fan. He's not a Knicks fan, but it's okay. You can root for us right now. It's okay. We'll take all we can get.
with the Knicks, they hurt you so much. You get defeated. You know, you just that's how it is. What happened with the Knicks? Every time I give the Knicks, I get fully invested. I was just saying that earlier. I said, no, everybody getting fully invested in the Knicks and all hell break. Everybody getting hurt. You know, if the
How do
Knicks
you think
lose
I
this
feel?
series, the Knicks lose this series, you know, if they do, which is I don't want to say nothing, but it would be because of injuries and health. You know, it wouldn't be because they don't even got OG. You know,
I'm
I
not
think
making no excuses.
if
I'm
they,
not
I
making
have
any
like if the
excuses.
Knicks had OG, they would have won one of them games in Indiana. They almost won game 3. They
Nah,
lost game
they
3
didn't they
to
didn't
a
have
last
any
second. They
energy.
lost game 3 to a last second lucky dumbass shot.
But Purple Baby and Flat, you got to understand something. These dudes is not playoff tested. There's not a lot of veterans on this Knicks roster who have playoff, you know what I'm saying, who have that playoff experience. Dudes is getting tired, they're fatigued. You heard what Josh Hart said, you know what I'm saying? It's like working a 12-hour shift or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dudes be tired, man. You know what I'm saying? So that means they got to better prepare their bodies next season because they know if they make a deep run, what it's going to take. You know what I'm saying? The top dudes do that. LeBron is ready. He's ready for 100 and something games a season, not no 82. You know, and that's what takes care of his body in the off season.
I'm with you on that. I want to get into some LeBron
give me
later as well. What you say, Purple?
just it's been an exhausting playoffs this year.
Why you say that?
Cause Like it has. It's been a good playoff like thing this year. Good matchups, but it's been exhausting, man. Like trying to keep up with everybody.
It has been a shocking turn of events, roller coasters. You had times where a team looked like they in control of the series, then the other team in control. Like what happened with that Denver series with the Minnesota is crazy. Like this next game is just going to be for all the marbles.
Denver's going to take that
Even with
series.
New York, even with New York to a certain extent. I mean, Knicks was just looking like they was in control. Indy flipped the switch. Now they tied up. Look what happened with Dallas and OKC. That series just shifted from all over the motherfucking place.
But that's
What 1 minute Oklahoma City looked like they about to shit on them. The next minute, here come Dallas. And now OKC look like they getting back. I ain't gonna lie, Dallas just blew that game last night. They got nobody to blame but themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nobody to blame. That's why I said you got to put these young teams away. Even with the Knicks, like they really let their ass get away with that lucky ass shot in Game 3. This series should be over tonight. But like I said, no OG Anunoby. So I ain't really tripping, with the Knicks. I think no matter what happens, next year we're gonna be in good shape. Because everybody should be healthy. We either gonna trade Julius or he'll be there. Burks just hit a 3. So they really stomping a mud hole in their ass right now.
but
Go ahead.
I would say this specifically with Dallas. The problem is what's that man's name? Luka. He has been I don't know if he injured. I don't know what's going on with him, but he has not been playing well at all this playoffs. Like period point blank to the end.
Listen, Kyrie ain't been too good either. The past 2, they doing something. They doing something.
Yeah.
I don't know how they got these niggas neutralized. I don't know how that happened.
No, that's how bad like the Dallas is playing that bad as a team. Well, their 2 best players. Well, Luka really is. That's how bad Luka is playing.
Right.
Like it's sad. And then people mad at Carl Anthony Towns, but I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know why. That's all I can say today.
Right.
I think Denver finished. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we got Dex in the house.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
Lord. Oh, Lord. With the bad sound. Go ahead. Jesus Christ. He to fix his mic.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, no, I was just about to say, like, with Boston, in Cleveland, like, same thing going on with Tatum. These guys don't play consistent. They don't play to their strength of their game. Like, they don't.
I agree.
Cleveland, I just think, like I said, they're just not good enough. In my opinion, I just think they're just not good enough. I think that they got lucky facing Orlando. They should have been out in the first round. Outside of Mitchell, they don't have any. If they would have played anybody else, they would have lost.
Yep, and the same thing with Minnesota.
Mic check.
Okay, there you go.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir. Flight. Shout out to you and the panel and everybody.
Yeah, again.
Doing their thing. Listen, Phonics. This is a pivotal momentum game moving forward. Game 5, series tied 2-2, and the New York Knicks is just wailing haymakers on the top of the helmets of the Indiana Pacers. And it doesn't look like it doesn't look like the Indiana Pacers is going to respond. I think they're going to go ahead and lay it down and put in the subs and then hope for a victory down in Naptown. But one thing I can tell you about these Knicks, man, Tommy T has spoken and the New York Knicks have hearkened to the voice of their shepherd. So now the little engine who could is doing the doozy.
Listen, these guys. I want to ask y'all a question because I've never seen a shocking turn of events. It seemed like none of these teams is going to be able to win on each other's floor. I do think the Knicks got the best opportunity to pull it off. But what do y'all say about how going from one town to the next? Like Indiana just shitted on the Knicks, and now they in New York looking like they forgot how to play. The Knicks go to Indiana, just is a mess.
Like,
What is this road? What is all of this about?
you know what I would say honestly? Not the Knicks. The Pacers, one thing we've known about them all series that was especially found out about them when they was in the in-season tournament against the Lakers is they're all like offense, fast court. They're not a very good defensive team. And all you have to do is stop them from running. Like running up and down the court and stuff like that. And another thing that I've known from the beginning of the season, they don't have like Tyrese is cool, but they don't have like that guy like a Anthony Edwards or a Tatum type scorer on this team. So I give Rick Carlisle credit for taking a team that to me is very flawed in terms of having that one definite like guy scorer that can close out, a game for you and lead. Like I give him credit for taking when Indiana loses, because they will, for doing what he did with this team. Because there's no way this team should have made it as far
Are
as
you serious right
I'm
now?
about to say
For real?
that. I think you're being too generous. Number one, they got
No.
this last time I checked, he making the same money as LaMelo Ball and Edwards. So
But
this guy is the number one
it's
option in
not.
the team. Goddamn it, you giving him a pass?
No.
Yeah,
When you look at
he's
Tyrese,
supposed to be the closer.
no, he's
That's
not.
what the check
If you
said.
really watched Tyrese in college, you pay attention when he came out. Tyrese was never a scorer like that in college. He was a good playmaker, supposed to be a pretty decent defender, and he was just solid. He wasn't like a high type scoring. That's not him, and that's the problem. If he plays to his strengths, which is playmaking and defense, he'll look better. He's not a guy in the NBA that can lead you night in and night out in the scoring department, and that's one of the biggest problems with this team. They don't have that guy. Like
I think they're a young team.
he's making, he's not Jalen Brunson in the scoring department, or who else scores like.
I think Brunson's got a little bit more experience.
Like that.
No, I think that Tyrese Halliburton is more naturally talented than Brunson. I think Brunson just worked
But not
harder
in
than
the
him.
scoring department, Flight.
Yeah, well, whatever you want to say. I just think
But
he's more naturally talented.
They're a young team.
Brunson
They're a
worked
young
his
team
ass
too.
off. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying they're a young team too, just like Orlando. If we can keep these guys together, they have promise. You know what I'm saying? They're just playing a better team.
He's a little more ahead of their development than Orlando.
Yeah, I agree with that because they got some playmakers out there. You know what I'm saying? And you got Pascal Siakam, man.
Yeah, they made a trade. Yeah, that's what I said. I think we're giving them too much of a G pass. They got Tyrese. They got a Hall of Fame coach supposedly. You got decent role players. I really like that dude McConnell. Pause. Like that dude is nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. The Knicks need to get his ass. They need to try to get McConnell. That dude do all the dirty work. I mean, he was killing us. They finally found out a way. Obi Toppin has been wilding. He been kind of inconsistent. He been sticking it to the Knicks.
That's why we traded him. That's exactly why we traded him.
Yeah, he kind of up and down. But this kid McConnell, man, is the truth.
A little JJ Redick.
He plays some defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's really solid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have a young team. You have to give them time. See, we always look for it now in sports. We want to win now. That's that LeBron James model. And what has it gotten him? You know what I'm saying? If we can keep these guys together for a couple of years and let them grow together and mesh together, I'm telling you, it'll work out. You know what I'm saying? But we got to give it time. Nobody wants to give it time. Everybody wants to win right now. And we're seeing those teams that think like that. They're not being successful. They're not being successful. Look at Milwaukee, man. Look at the Clippers. All these people are at the house. You see how Boston, how they front office stood pat when everybody said, "Oh, break up Tatum and Brown, break them up, blah blah blah." This what? If Kristaps Porzingis can be healthy, it's gonna be a problem, man. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I really think Denver, they back into play. So, I mean, I know that people wrote Denver off. They already was putting Minnesota in there. But I'm going to put Denver in the finals. You know, I still think if Denver's in there and they face Boston is still going to have hell on their hands. You know, I still think that Denver going to be the favorite against Boston.
Me too. I agree with you totally. Yeah, Denver's going.
Still has his issues. He might be dominating the East, but when Jason Tatum faced another dog, that's when he turned into a chihuahua. I hate to say it, but I just gotta throw it out there. You know, right now, the Knicks, they just don't have all the pieces to go to battle with the Celtics, in my opinion.
Yeah, they don't.
If we had all the horses, we probably still wouldn't be the favorite, but I think we could really have a chance of beating them. But I think the buck is going to stop against the Celtics. You know, we don't have OG. I mean, we fucked, man. There's no way.
I mean, look, it's still a winning season either way. We're gonna get to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's still a winning season to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not upset about that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Celtics are the big dogs in the East for a reason. And they will go to finals. And Denver is gonna finish off Minnesota. And again, Minnesota's a fairly young team. Yeah, they have some veterans, but they don't know how to win yet, man. Look, it took LeBron to go to Miami to learn how to win. Not to hone his skills, but to learn how to win. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happens sometimes, man. It is what it is, you know. But I think if they keep these teams together, it'll be better for the NBA, man. It'll be better for the NBA. You know?
I agree with that. You know,
let's snatch up Clay.
Yeah, I think he can use a change of scenery. I mean, the Knicks got to get him back. But I mean, I would still take it easy. They do got a bunch of boatload of picks. You don't want to lose all your depth either trying to get a star, you know. So I think if it's man, Pascal just hit a 3. You gotta look out for Indy. And Indy they cut it to 12. So we're gonna be keeping our eyes on this. I told the people, don't celebrate. Y'all wasn't ready to throw the bouquet in the air yet. You know, this the Knicks, man. They're gonna they're gonna put your ass through a roller coaster. Burks just hit a 3. You know, thank God. No, we ain't gonna give up on him. Shout out Marvin. He said, "Don't give up."
Burks was good.
But I mean,
Burks good pickup.
I gotta brace myself for the heartbreak. You know, I've been broken down by the Knicks so much. I'm getting ready for the heartbreak. So I gotta prematurely break my heart before they do it.
Yeah, well, look, you know what I'm saying? You say that, but you weren't around for the Michael Jordan-less years when we were supposed to breeze through the East, and we did, and still didn't pull nothing off. That was the shame in us. You know?
The finger roll. I mean, that's not where the fuck is Patrick Ewing in all of this?
He was there. Oh, I don't know.
I see John Starks out there.
Yeah, Starks is right there. He keep getting up. He's next to Starberry.
He's a Starberry.
Yeah, he's right there next to Starberry. Yeah, that's what we used to call him, Starberry. That was that guy.
They got to select. They got a Nick Rowe. I love how the Knicks don't get enough credit for this. I love how they brought all their legends back. You know,
word.
Oh my goodness, this nigga Brunson just shit. What's that nigga name? Hold on, what's his name? Lord have mercy. What's number 23 name?
Yeah, I seen that.
Man, that Sports Center right, Naismith. He just shook him. That nigga broke his ankles. But yeah, man. Like I said, I like Naismith. I like everybody that's happening with Indy. They all right. Next game, Knicks got to try to get that game. Hopefully they treat them just like Philly. You don't want to go game 7 for all the marbles in New York City. I'm telling you, because I don't think the game is going to go like this. Right now, Indiana got to really think about sitting the starters, which I'm pretty sure they probably got Halliburton with a bad back. I doubt they'll bring him back.
You talking about next game in New York?
Huh?
You talking about next game in New York?
No, in Indiana. They got to get ready for that game.
When is that game?
I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I would think.
No, I'm saying, but wouldn't that be the game 7?
No,
They just came back from
no,
Indiana.
no. That would be game 6. Right now, this is game 5.
Oh, okay, so the last game they played was in New York when they got blown out.
No, that was game 4 in Indy. You got two.
Oh,
You know, there's
yeah,
two
there's two
games.
apiece. It's
Yeah.
2 apiece. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So they did 2 in New York. They did 2 in Indy. Now they back in New York for 2. Or is that wrong?
Look, man, stop acting silly, man. The man trying to tell you how the rotation goes.
You need to fix your mic, man. You all over the place. Okay, well, but thank you.
You
Well,
should
sure.
already know this
You
stuff.
know what I'm saying?
He should know this.
Well, I do know that the Knicks is my team. I know the Knicks is my team. How about that?
Mediterranean Sea too long.
I do know the Knicks is my team. How about that? Not a player, but the whole team. How about that? That part. Mm-hmm.
You've been on the USS Ronald Reagan too long.
Hey, the Reagan, man. I remember the Reagan got built. Real talk. My boy rode it from Virginia to Cali. Word. I remember they got commissioned. Mm-hmm.
Marvin, what's good? You see what's going on with New York City?
Yeah, man. What's going on, fellas?
I can't call it. You got
What up,
Jalen
man?
Brunson
What's good?
shitting all on the Indiana Pacers. The Knicks are up in the Garden. Is 86-105. Brunson just got an and 1. He getting MVP chance down. You got Marbury, Sprewell, Mello, Starks. I mean, I seen Busta Rhymes there. I see who else I seen. I seen all the stars out there right now.
And Busta Rhymes lost all his way up.
Yeah, you seen Busta Rhymes? Yeah, Busta Rhymes out there icy. I mean, the chain is paused. That shit is heavy. You know, I mean, they got so many diamonds. I'm like, now why would he come to like this? Why would
Everybody comes around when you winning. Everybody comes around when you winning. Where's everybody during the low times, though?
Right,
whatever.
Yeah, you know, they all coming around to get some publicity. You know, to get seen.
Shit, Chris Rock been there. Hey, Chris Rock been there. Spike Lee been there. Ben Stiller been there. All those people been there. You know what I'm saying? And then I seen what's his name? What's that guy's name? He's a comedian. He's a Clippers fan, a lifelong Clippers fan, but he's sitting there at a Knicks game. That's crazy. This is just ridiculous. I see Fat Joe there.
Got 8 shots. That's another question for another day. Halliburton, I don't know what's up with dude. I mean, that's wild. What's going on? How he they need to move him off the USA basketball team and put Brunson on. But what you say?
No, I was doing a celebrity roll call. I was like, Fifth was there also.
You said 50 is there?
No, not tonight, but he was at one of those.
Yeah, 50.
Yeah, he was. You're right.
50 quietly rooting for the Pacers. 50 got this alcohol that he's selling, and Indiana, they sponsored the alcohol. He got it around all these different arenas. And Indiana sponsored his cognac. New York didn't do it. So
well, we don't need him. We don't need 50. He don't live in New York anyway. Neither does Fat Joe.
That's what I'm saying. He was on social media talking about we got to look out for Tyrese Halliburton. He tried to tell us. Dude, I said, this shit is crazy. This nigga rooting for the Pacers. And then you seen Ja Rule with did you see the Ja Rule shit?
No.
Oh man, I gotta show y'all that. Let me know who's seen Ja Rule. Ja Rule was holding the Larry O'Brien trophy. He had all Knicks gear on and he kissed the trophy. And he was like, what would I do without my Larry? And he kissed it. And he said, let's go Knicks. And now everybody's saying he brought the Knicks bad luck. He said that before game 3. The Knicks lost 2 games after that shit. So everybody blaming Halliburton for that shit. I mean, blaming Ja Rule. In New York, it's a New York thing. It ain't all over the world. But it's a crazy situation. But give credit to Obi. I think Obi Toppin is a good play. He's going to develop into something good. I just think New York, they had Julius. Julius was just better than him. You know, as bad as Julius, you know, his playoff woes, pound for pound, he was just better than Obi Toppin. So he was.
I got to look at Julius' contract, man. I got to see what they're going to do with him.
They need to trade Julius Randle. You know, they got to let him go. That Knicks killing their ass right now. Knicks up.
I ain't going to stay on long, but I did want to ask you and finally a question because I heard y'all talking about the Celtics. Why is it that you guys are so sure that the Knicks can't beat the Celtics?
Oh, who won?
I mean, I could take it first.
Because y'all undermanned. Because you undermanned.
That I just think they're better. They're more of a dominant team on defense, and they shoot the three ball way better, man. It can't be just one person shooting the three, which is Dante DiVincenzo. There has to be more people shooting that three ball, man. That's the most important thing in today's game, man. And I just don't see it consistent with the other players. Brunson will give you a few here and there, but that's about it. Who else is throwing up trades? You
We
know what I'm
lost
saying?
OG, man. We're in trouble, man. Against that team, you're gonna need OG because you're gonna need him to shut at least one of them down. See, that's
That's
the
what I was.
thing.
And Mitchell
That's
Robinson
Yeah, yeah,
too.
yeah. You need, yeah,
that's
just
what I
one
was
of
saying.
them.
That's what I was finna get to, Flight. Don't you guys think that New York's defense can kind of,
No,
maybe be able to kind of make that series a little interesting?
if they had OG, in my opinion, like, I think OG could. They're gonna be scrambling all over the goddamn place without OG there. Because OG, you could just throw him there, and then you could just roll the dice with one of them. You're like, okay, Tatum could go off tonight, but we're gonna shut Brown down. One of them should have a bad series. I'm pretty sure that would be the message that Thibodeau will be talking. And then Porzingis, he's not 100%. We just dealing with a lot of problems that I just feel like we screwed. We had Mitchell Robinson, we lost him. OG, that's a lot of defense, and that's two starters. You understand? Well, I don't think Mitch was back and forth, but I'm just saying we lost defense right there. That's a lot of defense that is out the door. You got Mitchell Robinson defending the rim, and OG is one of the best two-way defenders in the NBA. So I mean, we lost a lot, to go up against a team like the Celtics.
But is OG going to be back for that series that y'all
I,
make?
I don't know. They say I don't know. I heard it's indefinite. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
So I
But it's
wanted to
a
say,
hamstring. It's a hamstring, so there ain't no telling about that.
so I wanted to state something right quick. Oh shit. Hello, Marvin.
Hey, babe.
Okay, so one thing is good right now in terms of points per game. The Knicks are fourth this year in the playoffs in points per game. Um, Point differential. They don't lead there, and they actually, damn, they lead fourth in rebounds and fourth in blocks. Because statistically, let me see where Boston is
Where's Boston?
in terms of what am I thinking about? Not points
It's like Busta
or
Rhymes.
blocks.
He Louis V down.
3-point percentage. That's what I'm thinking about. Because Boston, they
Make sure you look up their defensive stats too, because that's a lot of that's overlooked by
Boston
Boston.
is second in points allowed at
Look up the
96.6. But y'all got to look at the teams. Miami's best scorer on their team was Butler. And if I'm remembering correctly, Butler didn't play a game this year in the
nope.
playoffs. And then they going against Cleveland, where their best player offensively is Donovan Mitchell. And he missed what will be game 4, I think. I think they played 4 games.
The last game.
Yeah. So they ain't really went against a really collectively a good team offense, if that makes sense.
Yeah, especially when you losing some of your best players. Yeah, it makes sense. But
And Boston is second in rebounds.
That's what I was going to say.
Which is
But look at
surprising because
Boston.
Porzingis, I know, being out.
But look at Boston's defensive stats. That's where a lot of people overlook Boston.
Point differential, they first.
Well, that's because they scoring the most points. But
I'm
it's
looking.
not just that.
I'm looking at
how much are they holding their opponents to? How many points per game are they holding their opponents to?
96.6.
That's one of the better defending teams in the league in the playoff.
No, but remember who I said they going against.
Okay, well, go to the season.
They're going against Cleveland right now without Donovan Mitchell on the floor. They're not as talented offensively. They don't have that guy that can put up points outside of Donovan Mitchell. And then they went against a whole bunch of shooters in Miami. So the Knicks could possibly, put them to the test, that defense to the test. which I don't believe they'll score more than 96 points like that, but still.
So all right. The reason I asked that is not just for the playoffs.
Hmm.
Boston was one of the better defending teams in the league in the regular season.
That's
They've
true.
always been decent in defense. That's where they lay their hat at. A lot of people don't realize that. They always talk about Tatum and Brown, but Brown plays some decent defense while only scoring too. Now Tatum don't play no hellified defense, but they got other players on the team that do. And the way they get by is playing good defense, and then they can score. So to me, I would look at more of the opposite team scoring, being able to score, than able to stop Boston. Because if you can maintain a decent score with them, you can beat them. But
Yeah,
if you can't
Boston.
score, I'm sorry.
Boston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. Do y'all really think that Boston is a good 3-point shooting team like that? Or do you think they just get hot and that's,
Well, the percentages will tell you. The numbers will tell you.
I don't think they are, and that's the problem because I've never seen, like, to me, the Warriors as a team being who they two best players was is a good 3-point shooting team. Boston, to me, because that's not Brown or Tatum's strength to shoot 3-pointers, I just think that's where it's flawed at. Like, you can't give me, like, DiVincenzo by far is, when New York meets up with Boston, would be the best 3-pointer, 3-point guy, as far as shooting. And maybe Josh Hart, you know,
Mhm.
because that's how you can beat Boston if you hit more threes than them. Because collectively as a team, let me be respectful. Let me see. Derek White, I know plays. Drew Holiday,
Okay.
Porzingis maybe would be their best 3-point shooter. I would think maybe.
Okay. And also, you just mentioned somebody that's, if and when the Knicks play against Boston,
Hmm.
you just mentioned somebody that's going to be very vital in that series, and that's Drew Holiday against Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, that's true. It's
Because
gonna come down to honestly which team shoots the three more consistently in that series. To me,
I think it's going to come down to defense. I think it's going to
now
come
I
down to
don't think, but see, that's why I'm just telling you the reason why they struggle with and why they struggling this year. When if you look at the games against Cleveland, when they don't shoot the three well as a team, as a unit, they lose those games. It's you can hold them to like 90 something points.
and how many times that's happened so far.
I think in the Cleveland series it happened once. Cause I remember looking, I said, why they only got 80? I think they finished with like 90 something. But I was like, why do they got it was like the fourth quarter. And Cleveland, I think, was leading like when I looked at it, like 100 to 80 something. And I was like, is Tatum or somebody hurt? They was not only both healthy, but they was on the floor and they didn't shoot the three well that game. I
Yeah,
think
that's why.
they won a game in Boston or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but that's why I'm more leaning towards it being more important on the defensive end than anything. Meaning this, if you look at Boston, we like I say, all of us always talk about Tatum and Brown
Hmm.
scoring. We always talk about they scoring, but we never hardly look at what they hold their opponents to, how they play defense collectively as a unit, not just Tatum and Brown. I'm talking about the whole team. They well
Right,
coached.
but
They
that's
well
what I'm
coached.
telling you.
Yeah, they well
Both of them
coached.
can. Both teams can play incredible defense, but I'm telling you, you even like I was to put it like this. I would, crowd the paint and all of that, and make Boston a 3-point shooting team and put my money on that. Because out of a 7-game series, how many times is Boston as a team, as a unit, going to shoot good, like over 30? Well, let's be real, 35% or better from three.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me ask you this then, Purple. Is this Celtic team better than it was last year?
Some people say that it is, but I disagree because I'm trying to understand why do they still have a problem hitting 3-point shots,
Okay,
and that's outside of Brown and Tatum.
I think you can answer this question by answering this question: is Drew Holiday better than Marcus Smart?
Um, Not to me. I think they're about the same right now in their careers.
You
Right
don't
as of
think
right now.
you don't think Drew Holiday's defense takes him a little bit over the top?
No, not. He's lost a step, maybe even two. I think
Hey,
it's
what's
easy.
going on,
It's either
Purple?
who's that?
Hey, what up? What up?
Quiz.
Quiz, what's up?
Quiz was
What up,
good.
Yeah,
Quay? What up,
quiz.
Quay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. How y'all
Oh,
doing?
don't sound so sad. Get excited.
Yeah, you see New York City.
Yeah, I mean, this, we got the caution tape out. You know what I mean? There's nothing to see here.
Are you're not jumping for joy.
No, I'm not, man. I'm not gonna be jumping for joy till we mash them out. Mother's Day, you had Halliburton over there talking hella shit. He ain't got shit to say tonight, though.
Nah,
Nope.
I ain't ready. I'm gonna deal with him after this series. I'm gonna deal with a couple of these fools after
All
this
right, all
series.
right. Yeah, I'm glad you
I
are.
mean, you
'Cause I've been
you could deal with him now. I'm just saying what I'm gonna do.
nah, because I've had these conversations during this year. Flight. You remember a few years ago when Halliburton was over there on the Sacramento Kings. You know what I mean? And I told you the boy could play. It's not like I have not.
Oh, who was on Sacramento? Say it one more time.
Remember
Halliburton.
a couple years ago when
Oh yeah,
Halliburton
I
was on the
remember.
Sacramento Kings, and I was telling y'all because they was talking crazy about Halliburton, and he was a young player at that point. And I said Halliburton's a good player because De'Aaron Fox was injured, and Halliburton was putting up good years. I've had Halliburton on fantasy squads for a while. I'm the one person who wasn't surprised at what he was able to do as a starter on the Indiana Pacers. But my thing is, like, sometimes I think that people be in such a rush to put people like ahead of the line. You follow what I'm saying, Flight? Like they be so quick to put people ahead of the line, and I'm like, yo, slow your roll.
Yeah,
Like slow your
right.
roll. Even my man Halliburton, I seen him in that last game talking all of that shit,
So
pumping
what
your
about
chest.
what about Edwards?
Come on.
I mean,
Well,
see, these niggas on the clock.
I think that I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that Anthony Edwards is a little bit different than Halliburton. You know what I mean? I
What's
know.
going on? What's going on with that series?
First off, I mean, people trying to put the Timberwolves ahead. Like I'm like, y'all really like they got out to these two games. You know what I mean? They want to forget that people underestimate the heart of a champion. You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna. They punched the shit out them in that first couple games though.
Yeah, now they nose is twisted. Tonight they don't got
Yeah,
their
I
boy
mean,
Mike Connolly. They woke up the champs. I mean, come on. Fuck we talking about here.
No, I'm with you. I got
What we
Denver,
talking
man.
about?
I got Denver. I think that him winning that MVP ignited everything.
hold up. Before you guys go any further, I was hearing after the first two games against Denver that Anthony Edwards was as good as Michael Jordan.
Yeah, you knew that was a reach, Marvin. We both done watch enough basketball and know better than that.
Yeah, man. I can't wait till this
Listen,
motherfucker go out in
Anytime
flames.
somebody puts somebody in the conversation with Michael Jordan, we already know that they just capping. They must have
well,
forgot
I
like
mean,
Roy Jones.
well, here's the difference in so far. Here's the difference in him and Jordan. One thing Jordan didn't do, and I ain't talking about the Bulls. I'm talking about Jordan because a lot of them wins were
But
all Jordan.
how you skip Kobe and all these people?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But go
How you
ahead,
just
though,
get
because we
above?
don't went straight to Michael Jordan. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
That's why they fuck up all the time. Fight.
Go ahead. We forgot about Kobe, LeBron.
yeah. Okay, fight. Since you brought that up, is he better than Kobe?
No.
Hell no.
And this is what I'm trying to say, Marvin. Like, look, the motherfucker only played a couple years of basketball. What are we talking about? The fuck are we talking about? You talking about all-time great? You talking about Black Jesus? Please, let's pump the fucking brakes. You need more than 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years to even be considered to be in that thing.
But to entertain that is cool. But to Edwards' credit, yeah, they really should. We need to stop doing that though. Every time a player start excelling and we ready to put him up there with this guy and that guy, we should just it's messed up because we can't even appreciate the greatness that he's doing right now because we caught up in the Jordan comparison. You know,
Well,
that's gonna turn
what
a lot of motherfuckers off. You know, some
this
people
what you
might be
do?
entertained by that bullshit, but
But I
that'll
would,
turn everybody. That'll turn my black ass off.
This
What
what
you
you
say,
do.
but you,
This
Paul?
what
but
you do. Fight. This what you do. Anytime somebody come on your podcast, on your show, and they start entertaining that, you ask them about, do they know Michael Jordan's playoff record? And have the guy they trying to compare with him, is it even close? Or have he even got to even close to what Jordan did? See, one thing that was good, that was great about Jordan, when it came down to big games, big games, he showed up every night. Every night. I ain't talking about in a losing end either. He either hit the winning shot, he either got the steal, he either did something to have an impact in that win. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from these youngsters who playing well, but when you start comparing them to Jordan and Kobe, and I'm gonna use them two because I know those two were top of the line. But when you start comparing these players to them, they better be doing something in the like. Joker ain't even right now. Joker is a hell of a regular season player. He's a hell of a regular season player. He's got one championship. One. Everybody know how many Mike got. Everybody know how many Kobe got.
Yeah,
Everybody know how many Shaq got. You start comparing. Championships make the difference. Listen, guys, when you talk about real good players, they remembered and what they did for their city to win championships, not 2-3 games in the second round or first round. And it ain't over for Anthony Edwards. He got a chance tonight. He got a chance tonight to right the ship on how good he really is. If he wins this game tonight in Denver, almost single-handedly, not necessarily scoring 100 points, I don't mean that. I mean, you can tell that he was the difference. Then you can start saying, well, this guy is pretty good. You still don't put him there, though. But now, if he go in there and score 30 points and they lose by 15, who's going to remember that 30 points? Nobody.
Hold on, Purple. You was trying to jump in here because I only got one more thing to say on this to get before I get
no,
back.
I was
back
just
on
gonna
point where
say,
it's at.
y'all have to remember, I don't like LeBron James like that either. But a lot of that has to do with because people don't want LeBron James to be the GOAT. So when they looking, it's more off of, well, LeBron did this. Look at Anthony Edwards and Luka. Look what they did. It's better. Their efficiency is better. That's what it has to do with, like, people not really wanting him to be the GOAT. So yeah, they're gonna be disrespectful and say like, oh, look at him, he's doing what MJ does or whatever like that. Like, that's all that is.
Oh,
That's all it is.
I disagree. I just think it's a more of a modernistic NBA sort of thing. I mean, I knew where we were headed when we remember when they were doing the top 75 and they got Damian Lillard as the top 75.
Right.
First off, let me just keep it a bean, all right? Like Marvin talked about the championships. I'm not even forget about championships for a minute, right? There are people who've played entire careers who are great basketball players, okay? So like there are dudes who ain't even made the Hall of Fame who were like who we watched do things season after season that were great basketball players who didn't even win championships. And you know it's blasphemy to go and take a dude who's played 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years in the league and then shove them ahead of some of these dudes. Like, you know, it's just a modernistic thing that people like to do.
But okay, the next time you run into somebody that say Anthony Edwards is like Michael Jordan, ask them why.
I mean, I can see the reasons why they say things like that, but it's just entirely too early to start putting that on people. That's the reason I like what Anthony Edwards says about, like his perspective. I like Anthony Edwards' perspective. Now, I mean, in 5 years, 6 years, if he's really playing outstanding, but come on, we have a lot of people who like to mythologize people. I'll give you a perfect example of what I mean, right? Kyrie Irving is a great basketball player, right?
Yes.
I watched this dude a couple of years ago on the Nets. The dude dropped 11 points twice in a series where they got swept. Not once, but twice. He just this playoff series, the dude dropped 9 points in 2 games. Like, so even good players, have bad games. You never see nothing like that from no Michael Jordan, though. ever. Period. No year. You know what I mean? You would
Never.
never see something like that from some of those dudes. So I just think that, people have the recency thing going because they're looking at basketball right now. But people like Marvin, myself, we have the privilege of watching a lot of basketball. I remember when I was a kid and my dad used to tell me about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I didn't know anything about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I just saw him come out with his goggles and these, and these big knee pads and stuff like that. You know what I mean? My pop had to educate me. Put some
Winning
respect on
player.
that name. Put some respect on that man's name. And then you go and take a look at him being, the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. And you realize, even if you do the math on it, Kareem had to be a pretty bad boy to do the
Oh,
things
he was
he
cold
did.
blooded.
So,
But don't leave out that he had a hell of a supporting cast. All of these players that we talking about now, in the Bulls case, until Scotty really got on his grind, Jordan didn't have a lot of help. He really didn't.
well, I mean, Scotty wasn't there by himself. They also had Horace Grant. And remember, Scotty talked that crazy stuff about Michael Jordan was a horrible player when he came into the. Didn't Scottie Pippen say he was a horrible rookie, Marvin?
Well, he was more relating
Hold on.
to.
He said that, didn't he? He said that,
Well,
right?
yes, he did. But
All
you
right.
got
Now, let me ask you a question. Did you look at Scottie Pippen's rookie year numbers?
Oh, please, come on
All
now.
right, then. Thank you very much. So me and Marvin already know that man is talking complete nonsense and foolishness.
But what he was referring to was he was a horrible player as a teammate, not physically and on the court. He was one of the worst teammates ever. Mike was so arrogant. But I can't really. Sometimes I don't like to say that because he was all about winning. He was all about winning.
Scottie Pippen wasn't even on the team with that man when Michael Jordan was a rookie. He wasn't even in the damn league.
Oh, I know. I ain't talking about that. I'm saying that when they were winning their championships, Mike had a lot to say about his play, about his teammates. He had a whole lot of negative to say about his teammates. A lot.
Man,
now, like I said, you can look at that in more than one way.
A lot of press conferences went with Michael Jordan after basketball games, and I've never seen him throw players under the bus.
No, not in the public. No, he never did anything. Now he was professional. He knew when to say what it was about making his teammates better. He didn't care about their feelings. He didn't care about the way he made them feel in practice. He didn't care about making Horace Grant cry 3 times. He didn't care about talking about how Scotty, missed shots in the clutch. But these was in practice. He never came in front of the mic and never. He was all about winning. And he was a professional, and that's why the NBA wanted him as the face of the league, is because he was so professional. He was a smart guy, and he still is. But he was truly, truly dedicated to winning. He was truly dedicated to winning. Larry Bird was dedicated to winning. He didn't talk much. He performed on the court. He didn't talk very much, but he was one of the best ever. Also, his name is not brought up much, but Larry Bird was a killer, a true killer. Before Jordan even got to be one, Bird went through us 3 times.
All of those guys earned their respect. There were players out there who didn't win championships who earned their respect. But
man, Jordan shortened a lot of guys' careers, and he lessened a lot of guys. How do I put it? A glory, including Stockton, including Barkley, including Drexler. And I can go on and on and on, because when Jordan was winning, nobody else was, and he took out a lot of good teams and players.
Let's not get too far off on this detail. Jordan and those dudes had their time. Right now, you're seeing the Knicks are up 3-2 right now on Indiana. Did you guys watch any of this game tonight?
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Just going back to the similarity on both. How many times was it that, kind of like the Knicks right now, the Bulls were getting ready in the next round, if they were going to the next round, and we were worried about their opponent? Are the Knicks worried about Boston?
I don't think that Boston got anything to worry about. Boston has not had much adversity this whole year. First off, the teams that we know were designed to be competitive with them face their adversity. They're not around anymore. The Knicks
Which was who? Which is who? Milwaukee.
which were Milwaukee and the Sixers. So
Yes.
the Celtics, I don't really feel as though the Celtics, and the Celtics have already been to the finals, which is something that nobody that they could possibly face, including who they're playing right now, has that experience or that pedigree. So I don't think that Boston, personally, and Boston is, even though they're lacking their main center as far as Porzingis, which I think is is helpful to them. They still have enough of their squad and roster in place that they're able to beat a lot of these teams. So I don't really feel as though Boston is going to really face their significant challenge until they get to the finals anyway.
So in
Now,
other words, hold up. You saying the Knicks, if they get past this round, automatically gonna lose this series?
I would never say automatically anyway. That's the reason why you play the game. But the Boston Celtics have had the best record in the NBA all year. They've been at the top of the East by a long shot all year long. I think whoever plays against the Boston Celtics are going to be clear underdogs. You can even go look at Vegas. So, I mean, Boston is heavily favored. And I mean, I don't think that that's even debatable, is it?
That's what I'm going to ask you. Is that actually is that true, or is it just because of they pedigree and who they have, or are they that much of a better team?
I think the Celtics are a very well constructed team. They have plenty of great pieces on them. They're not 100% right now, but neither are the Knicks. I think the Knicks could definitely beat the Celtics. But
okay, wait, before you go any further, because I heard you just say something that I've really been wanting to ask people about. You say they well constructed far as a team. Yes. After Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum, who do they have?
Well, I mean, you asked about Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is definitely better than Marcus Smart. Derek White has been playing phenomenal. They still have Al Horford. They actually have Porzingis, who's a dude at the very least, at the bare minimum, this dude is a walking double-double when he's healthy. And even though he's not healthy right now, I mean, this is a dude who will get you 3-4 blocks a game. You know what I mean? Plus, he's an outstanding rebounder. So as far as I'm concerned, the Celtics are definitely well-constructed. Plus, the fact that this team has actually been to the finals before.
Yes, pedigree.
They didn't bring Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday wasn't some random dude that they bought. Drew Holiday's been to the finals. So even though he hasn't been to the finals with the Celtics, he's a much better offensive player than Marcus Smart. And right now, I'd argue that he's just as good of a defensive player as Marcus Smart was also. But so yes, the Celtics are a very well constructed team. I'll stand 10 toes down on that for sure. Okay. They're just dealing with injury at the center position. They don't have their starting center, but Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, with the way Derek White has the capability of playing, and even Drew Holiday and Al Horford even. I mean, he's been with this team 2 stints with them. You know what I mean? He's a part of their brass. I think the Celtics are a really quality team. And really, if you want to know the truth, this is the reason why. When you look at Jason Tatum, there are no matchups left for him in the East.
Whoa, you disrespecting the Knicks when you say that.
I'm not disrespecting the Knicks. Any person that you put on Jason Tatum with his size and his ability, if you look at the Knicks, the Pacers, the Cleveland, the small forward that's matching up with him, he has distinct advantages on him if he's playing the way he's supposed to play. I mean, Jason Tatum is a superstar player who's been to the finals.
Hold on. Let me cut you off, because now we do have one player that's injured that I don't know if you know the stats man to man against Jason Tatum. That's the player that's hurt on the Knicks.
Anunoby?
Yes.
I love Anunoby, and the Knicks are on.
You ever seen what he does? You ever seen what he does when he plays against Jason Tatum?
Oh no, I haven't. But I still feel as though even with Anunoby, regardless of all of that, Jason Tatum's been to the finals. He's been to the championship. The Celtics have how they were like 13 games ahead of anybody even close in the East this year.
True.
I mean, that means that they've had success against not a couple of teams in the East, pretty much everybody in the East.
So
So
you saying they can turn it on and turn it off when they get ready?
no, I mean I'm not a Celtics fan. Don't get it twisted. I
Oh,
like
I know that. I know that.
more than the Celtics by a long shot. But the Celtics don't have no excuses. That's all I'm saying. The Celtics really don't have any excuses. Celtics have tons of talent. Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum have been through this rodeo before. Both of those two players are legit stars. You know what I mean? Legit superstars. OG Anunoby plays good defense. OG Anunoby has good games. You know what I mean? Here or there. But Jason Tatum is a dude who's a superstar in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's
All right.
a dude who should be getting 30 points a game pretty much regularly, or at least
Right.
27, 28 regularly, regardless of who
Okay.
you put up against.
Okay. Now, I want to go back to one thing you said earlier in this conversation, which was that the Celtics had the best record in the league. So I'm going to ask you this final question. If Denver gets to the finals and the Celtics get to the finals, who's the favorite?
I got the Nuggets.
But I'm hearing all this. Wait now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of lost because I've been hearing a lot about you. Well, only we've been talking about the Celtics, so I'm kind of biased. But do you think that's because Denver's a better overall team or because of the pedigree?
Well, to be quite honest with you, in some ways, I think because of both. The Celtics have issues. The Celtics, we know what their deficiencies are. Celtics don't always take great care of the basketball. This isn't a new thing. I don't think that the Celtics coaching is better than their Celtics coaching when they had Udoka. I felt as though he was a tougher coach. Mind you, I mean, they've had pretty much all of the person. I think the team personnel-wise is better than it was when Udoka was there. But I think Udoka made a huge difference. If they still had Udoka, I still don't know because the Nuggets, you have to also put into it, like you said, like we were talking about, the pedigree. The Celtics have been to the finals, but the Celtics haven't won a finals yet.
Yeah.
The Denver Nuggets are defending champions. We're talking about people with mismatches. We all know that Joker is a mismatch. We all know that Jamal Murray is a gamer. I think that Michael Porter Jr. is really I don't even know if he's all the way at his potential, but he's definitely close to it right now. I mean, and the way that they're constructed is totally different because they have a bunch of pieces on their team that I think really complement each other well. Plus, another thing with them is that we both know their chemistry. Now, I'm not saying that the Celtics don't have that. I think the Celtics are probably a better defensive team. But the Celtics have a deficiency of turning the ball over, and we do know that Jason Tatum sometimes has his games and sometimes he doesn't have his games. I think that Derek White, if he's playing at his optimal, which he can play at, he had a string of like 27-point games, which I thought was fire, but I still think he plays over his head a little bit also. But Derek White can be a phenomenal basketball player for sure. I think it's a good series, but I still just in my heart of hearts, I feel as though never underestimate the heart of a champion. I think there's a reason that the Denver Nuggets won a championship, and I think that there's a reason why nobody should underestimate them. The Nuggets know how to turn it on when they need to turn it on, and I see the Nuggets are a totally different team when the game is on the line. I like what I see out of the Nuggets consistently. When in big games, I like what I see out of the Nuggets consistently. They know what they're doing offensively. Plus, their coach is also awesome. They have they're a phenomenal coach. I'm not really in love with the dude who looks like a meerkat over there in the Celtics sideline, but the Celtics have a good team. But
okay,
I question the Celtics' heart. I question the Celtics' heart a lot of times because sometimes you watch that team and you're like, these dudes ain't even showing up. So
okay, all right. Well, are we at this present time disrespecting the fact of a team that's out of Dallas and a team that's out of Oklahoma City and a team out of Cleveland?
I don't think we're disrespecting anybody. You only asked me about a handful of teams.
But we're already past the fact of either one of those teams playing against one of those other teams. So are we disrespecting?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, you jumped to the Nuggets and the East. We started out talking about the East. So in the East, I don't think I've disrespected anybody. No disrespect to the Cavs. No disrespect to the Knicks. No disrespect to the Pacers. But the Celtics have been pretty comfortable, and they're going to be a heavy favorite against no matter who they play.
Okay, so you think the best matchup against Boston would be Denver. In other words, if Oklahoma City or Dallas got there, you would pick Boston automatically.
If Oklahoma City or Dallas, see, this is a different conversation. So
I'm just asking.
No, this is a different conversation than the one we had. So now, if we go over to the West, you have the Minnesota Timberwolves. There are a lot of people who favored the Timberwolves to beat the Nuggets, and I questioned them. I said, so we're going to forget about the experience of the Nuggets, and they weren't. They were ready to write them off. They thought that the Nuggets was done. They didn't feel as though the Nuggets had anymore. I was kind of surprised about that. Okay, well, we just watched the Nuggets go into Minnesota. And problem with Minnesota is the experience. I've seen Minnesota play before. I think Anthony Edwards is phenomenal, but I think the Minnesota Timberwolves play good defense, but they're led by a dude who's like 22 years old. Rudy Gobert is the most overhyped defensive player of the year I've ever seen in my entire life. I think that the Timberwolves I mean, this dude is defensive player of the year, but you need to double team Joker when you put him on him. He's not an automatic lock defensively, and Cat has been who Cat is. Like we're seeing right now, if Cat plays better, I mean, Cat's been in the league for a bunch of times. I watched that guy in the postseason tons. This is kind of like Cat Williams. Cat, I don't know what's up with him and Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is a lot more consistent than Cat, but sometimes those guys they're confident. They like shooting a bunch of threes. They love shooting threes. Cat struggles with being big sometimes, and sometimes he's a bit soft. So I mean, I'm not surprised when I see him kind of falling by the wayside. These are the reasons why I like the Nuggets when we're talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves. Still a great series, but I feel as though you don't underestimate the heart of a champion. Now, with all of the teams in the West, so even when it comes down to the Dallas Mavericks, or if you're talking about the Thunder, I will never, underestimate the fact that the Nuggets were the defending champs for a reason. The Thunder, I think the Thunder are playing great. To be quite honest with you, I think this is actually a really good matchup with the Thunder and the Dallas Mavericks. I've got the Mavericks coming out of this one, though. Coming into this one and coming out. I can't believe Kyrie only put up 9 points in that last game. I mean, a triple single just ain't it for a star player for me. I'm sorry.
Okay, you think that was more or less of him trying to just, give more to Luka?
No, I don't think it's that at all. See, that's the thing. See, people like to do all people like to what do I call it? Mythologize people. I know who Kyrie Irving is. I've seen Kyrie Irving play before. I like Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving has games where Kyrie Irving is a phenomenal basketball player who can put up 45. But people forget that this dude will also put up 11 points and be completely comfortable and sleep well like that.
Do you think that's due to shot attempts?
I mean, I don't know what it is, but this is what I'm saying, Marvin. In that last game that the Mavericks played, right? The thing that makes the Mavericks such a phenomenal team is you have two dudes who are unstoppable offensively, which is great until one of those dudes self-checks himself. Whether you check yourself out of the game because you want to fall back, Kyrie Irving is one of the most dynamic offensive players in the NBA. Everybody gives him that credit. 9 points ain't acceptable for a dude who's unstoppable offensively. That's just for real. Especially when the other star player who got a triple-double for you ain't even necessarily having his greatest game. I think that Kyrie's been playing some great defense. And I think that him and Luka have been putting together a defensive effort. But that last game they played, they got walked down in the fourth quarter. Marvin, you saw the game, right?
Yep.
They got walked down. And it's not the first game, to be completely honest with you. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been the best player in that entire series for the whole series. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is very consistent. He's unstoppable. You got 3 dudes on the court that I would more or less say are unstoppable. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who take a look at his numbers. This dude was up for MVP of the league this year. Luka was behind him, but he was also kind of somewhere in that running also. Luka does what he does. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has been phenomenal. I like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Now go back to something that you talked about, but you need help, right? And to be quite honest with you, the Dallas Mavericks have far more experienced players. So me, I'm a little bit different. I like players, but I also do hold them accountable. Down the end of that last game when they were playing, and remember, Luka was hella banged up. And Luka dropped a triple-double with 18 points. 18 points is not a typical Luka game. We all know that. Luka can drop 30, and he does it pretty regularly. But at the points, the thing that makes that team such a dangerous team is because, let's say, when they can take spills and Kyrie can kind of take the game over. You did not take no game over with 9 points, even if you had 9 assists. You know what I mean? Luka had a triple-double, so you pass the ball, he passed the ball, but you two dudes are the main offensive focal point, and you guys were up by like 10 points in the fourth quarter, and you let those dudes walk you down, and you guys did not show up when it really counted for your offense, whether you want to take a backseat or whatever. These guys, Kyrie been in the league long enough to know what it's time to do. When it's winning time, we expect Kyrie to kind of step it up a little bit, or you know what I mean? Or defer to Luka, let him step it up. But if he don't got it going and you ain't got it going and you ain't even taking shots, then what are we really doing here? You're going to tell me you're going to rely on PJ Washington to win the basketball game for you? Like,
yeah, you got a point. You got a point. You got a hell of a point. But in closing, I'm just giving you a little. 1 second, Dick. I want to ask him one more thing. I want you to answer this one. Which two combinations to you, in your mind, is better? Jason Tatum, Brown, or Kyrie and Luka?
I'm choosing Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, that there you go.
No, but Jalen ain't got no running mate like them. That's why I didn't put. I know Jalen's great, but he don't have a running mate like that. Now, if Randall was in there, then I would ask that question. But I want Quiz to answer that question for me. Which two combinations would you rather have on your team? Luka,
honest with you,
and Kyrie, or Jason Tatum,
listen,
and Jalen Brown.
Listen. I like the Mavericks way better than I like the Celtics. I'm not gonna lie. I actually think that the Mavericks are an exciting team. I actually would go out of my way to watch the Mavericks play. That's not the case for me with the Celtics. However, the Celtics have a far better defensive identity between those two.
There we go.
Have a far better defensive identity than those two teams, those two guys. Plus, remember, go back to something that I'm gonna not to overlook this part. They've actually been to a finals together. You know what I mean? They actually have some sort of acronym towards going to a postseason, which we haven't seen with Luka and Kyrie. So even though I like Luka and Kyrie offensively, and I think they're dynamic players and phenomenal, nobody wins a game all by themselves. Celtics are a better defensive team. And if you're just boiling it down to those two players, I mean, my problem with Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown is sometimes those guys can get very lackadaisical and very loosey-goosey with the basketball and turn it over in clutch situations. I've seen it a bunch. But they're not going to. They don't have as much adversity in the East. They should end up making it to the finals. That they should. They're favored to make it to the finals. The Mavericks can't say that. The Mavericks, even if they win this series, they're going to run into two teams that are much bigger than them. In Minnesota
and Denver,
or the Timberwolves. Both of those teams are much bigger, have significant in the paint advantages on that team.
Okay, Dex, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead, guy.
Listen, shout out to Flight Sports TV, the machine, the voice of the voiceless, the people's champ, the hottest in these streets. We all know that Flight is a patriot of the New York Knickerbockers. And congratulations to New York for putting up a doozy against the Indiana Pacers, who had tied the series down in Naptown. As I told Flight as he was going through his New York trauma, Flight, Hold strong, my brother,
Yes,
because
sir.
the New York Knicks are very resilient and they have the leverage and the advantage in the series because they have the home court. And listen, New
Big-
York and Jalen Brunson will not fail you in the Garden, the Mecca. I'm telling you, it was going to be a bloodbath, and hazmat will be needed. And Flight, congratulations on taking control of the series 3-2 on a momentous, pivotal game 5.
Yes,
And I'm
sir.
telling you, Jalen Brunson did not disappoint, not one iota of an instant did he disappoint, because he left the building, he left the silo 44 and 7. 7 assists, that is. So the man was playing godly as he was sliding through the foliage and soil in the Garden. Big ups to Jalen Brunson, the little engine who could. And as I told Fight, this guy is so awesome. I know Luca is crying crocodile tears watching this performance night in and night out as Jalen Brunson is taking the remnants of the New York Knicks. Don't have a co-all-star with him. Don't have the trade, the blockbuster trade, the core piece of that trade with him. He is taking a band of rebels and he is mopping the court. I'm talking about the 94 feet parquet floor with the Indiana Pacers. Oh my God, oh my God. What are we witnessing here? Jalen Brunson, the little engine who could.
Yeah, I watch a lot. I'm from New York also. I watch the Knicks a lot. Jalen Brunson played phenomenal. I wish he would have been showed up the last game, but I'm gonna tell you, my man Tyrese Halliburton, who I think had a really great season. He talked a lot of shit that last game. It's easy to talk shit when you're blowing somebody out by 40, right? You know what I mean? When you're blowing people out by 40 and you want to run around the court like King Kong, let's go take a look at that man's numbers tonight. And I've warned some people I've had conversations with this year about this particular question mark I have. So aside from that, the Knicks are a very scrappy bunch. As much as I like Jalen Brunson, I mean, until the past 2 games, my man DiVincenzo had an out of body experience. Tonight, McBride was playing fire at the end of the season. He's finally showed back up. Having a 15 and 18 point game is a big difference. This is the dude can actually really hit from the outside. Alec Burks, since the injuries have been tested, the Knicks, they've actually had to bring other players. He's actually playing some other dudes. Still only playing 7 dudes a night now, but still in all, Alec Burke came in and had a good night. Hartenstein, look at his offensive rebounds.
Light bright.
Hartenstein is playing phenomenal all around basketball, doing all of the dirty work, getting all of these second chance opportunities. Him, Josh Hart. The Knicks are a very, very scrappy and resilient team. And one thing I love that you mentioned, Dex, because I also made this point also when I was talking to people who was trying to pump their chest about a team that don't play no damn defense. I mean, look. Defense wins championships. I don't know how far you guys gonna go over there in Indiana not playing no damn deep. Just be honest with you. But the Knicks rose like the Phoenix from the ashes to the 2nd seed in the East. So that means that they have the home court advantage in this thing. And there is no way Indiana is going to be able to win this series without going through the Garden. And I am completely not convinced that they have what it takes to show up with those big lights in Madison Square Garden and take it from a team that's not trying to give nothing away. I think the Knicks are definitely
Quiz, you knocked it out the park with the verbal theatrics. I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, you mentioned Light Bright Hartenstein, and this guy gave the New York Knicks ample opportunities for a second chance to make a first impression. 12 offensive rebounds. I mean, he dug in and he dug in deep, and he practically just slumped the Indiana Pacers in the restricted area. Can you imagine 12 offensive rebounds? So that's giving you an opportunity to score at minimum 12 points, right?
Facts.
At medium, 24 points. And at maximum, 36 points. That's out of control. Man, I love it. Light bright Hartenstein above light skin.
Exactly. And see, this is the thing I was telling, like, I had somebody who was talking to me and they were getting all pumped up because Mitchell Robinson was down. You know how people like to prey on people's downfall? And I told them, you just said 12 offensive rebounds. That's not total rebounds. That's offensive rebounds. That's second chance points we're talking about.
17 total. 17 total.
Hartenstein and Josh Hart are literal warriors on those boards. One of the weaknesses of the Indiana Pacers, you got big Miles Turner, who I like a lot, but sometimes he is big for nothing. You know what I mean? He can block, he can hit the three, but he ain't really going and exerting himself at getting no damn rebounds. And if they push their identity and figure out how to crash them boards a little bit, stop trying to spend so much time trying to play this video game basketball running. They need to figure out how to. They need to, and they do not. Indiana does not play. I hate to say this. Indiana does not play smart basketball.
Turner with 5 rebounds tonight. Continue.
The Indiana Pacers don't play smart. What do I mean by that? Now, Dex, you're a person who sees and watched a lot of basketball. So are you, Marvin. There were a couple of points tonight in this game where the Indiana, like, for example, the start of the second half. The start of the second half, my man Miles Turner was on fire. He went on a 9-1 run by himself. And they went away from him. Later on, I think it was early in the fourth, where Siakam got on a little run. He starts getting hot. They just go away. They get dudes who start cooking, and they just go away from them. I just don't get it. They really just like shooting a bunch of threes and playing random basketball. Sometimes they need to get it, but I think it's just because of their lack of experience together. They really have that lack of experience. I think this season is a success for them. I think that they needed to get to the postseason. They got a win in the postseason playing against the damaged Bucks. They got themselves a win. They got this series. They need to take this experience, come back, and be a better team next year. I think that there's no way they can lose. They're playing with house money as far as I'm concerned, but they need to figure out some of these things. Their rebounding is terrible. Their defense is terrible, and they need to figure out. They need to have a more cohesive game plan. You watch these guys play, and you can clearly see they don't know what the hell they're doing in the half court. I mean, that's what I mean about this team. They clearly show a team. They embody a team that doesn't know what they're doing in the half court. And when you're at home, it's good when you got the crowd behind you. But when you get on the road, you know you got to bring that to the road, and it's difficult to do that in the NBA. Go ahead, Marvin.
Well, yeah, to answer, I mean, to just, to give you a little shout out on that, quite on the things that you were just saying. Is that a product of the new NBA? Meaning this, when you just said you had a hot guy going on and they went away from him, don't we call that pounding the ball? Don't we call that one-man basketball? And we get mad about that nowadays? Do you believe that? No, let me finish. The reason I'm saying that is this. If you give the ball, the last game that the Knicks lost, a lot of people felt that Brunson took too many shots. Brunson was holding the ball. He bounced it. He dribbles too much. But then today he scores 44. Do you know he did the same thing that he did last game? He just hit more shots this time. Every time we go into the sentiment of, well, man, they just got one player doing this. But when that player's hot, oh, man, he's awesome. But when he's missing, man, you gave him the ball too much. He was shooting too much. So that's the only reason I brought it up. I'm not saying it was wrong. I'm not saying it was right. You damned if you do, if you damned if you don't. So what I'm saying is this. First of all, the Pacers were underdog in this series. Well, as they should have been. The Knicks are beating them very, very much undermanned. Very undermanned. And I was on a New York podcast earlier this season, and I let everybody know, if the Knicks were fully healthy, there isn't a team in the NBA that could beat them.
Yeah, I think the Knicks, a fully healthy Knicks is a different story. A fully healthy Knicks, I think, can really give Boston a run because the Knicks have
Everybody a run. Everybody a run.
the Knicks have something very consistent. It's the intangible thing with the Hartenstein, the Josh Harts, the DiVincenzo's, the OG Ananobis. Like, look, these dudes have heart. They have a bunch of dogs on their team, right? Who come together and mesh together and do all the scrappy things it takes to pull out a basketball game. They're a very dangerous team. I thought that the Pacers were underdogged until you start taking a look at the 4 injuries that the Knicks are facing. The Knicks
That's the difference. That's the only difference.
Undermanned. The Knicks are undermanned, and they're only playing 7 players anyway. So really, to be
now,
quite honest with you,
now, don't get me wrong, guys. It's not like I'm just
They're
tooting my
playing
horn.
more than 7 players, Quiz. Don't do that.
Well, they did that tonight because they were winning now. But as far as big time minutes, and we need hold on, guys. We got to give a shot. We got to stop. We got to stop overlooking Burks.
yeah,
We
right.
have to stop overlooking Burks.
Who's only just played 2 games. He wasn't playing in none of them other games.
He
Listen,
had 18 tonight.
I'm
He had
trying to say
18 tonight.
7 players, but go take a look at the box score. The 8th dude plays 4 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been playing 7 dude. They've been playing a 7 dude rotation the whole postseason. Like, seriously.
Well,
Serious.
today they played more players in Deck's defense.
They
But
play players.
But if you look, wait, let me finish.
4.
If you say 7, you're actually right because you got 7 players over 20 minutes, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4 players with 3 minutes or less.
That was in garbage time. That was the game was over by that
That's
time.
that's what I'm saying it for.
Believe me, I know what I'm talking about when I say they're playing 7 players. Like
Because the 7 players that will play was a starting lineup, which was, and we all know what that is, which was Hartenstein, Brunson, McBride. Now that was a key. McBride had 17 tonight. Hart and DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
But the 2 players off the bench that had double figures in minutes were Achua and Burks, 23 and 23. That's 7 players, Dex. The other 4 players on the team, which was Donkey and Sims and Jeffries and Milton, 2, 3, 3, and 3. That's not minutes.
Can I point something out also?
Go ahead.
Dex, just so that you know, those dudes didn't get into the game until like after when the Pacers waved the white flag. The game was already over. They literally played 7 dudes this game.
Yeah. Now I do want to say this: 7 guys to win a championship through the playoffs, the entirety of the playoffs, is not a good recipe of winning a championship. Because eventually, if you are getting tired in the second round of your conference, then by the time you get to the conference finals and then get to the finals, you are almost wore out.
That's what Tommy T do. That's what he do to his roster.
We know that.
He's gonna grind you to nothing. He's gonna grind you to nothing.
We know that.
He's gonna prove what you're made of.
Well,
he's not gonna just observe. He's gonna prove.
I don't believe that's what his logic is. I believe he believes in getting the best players the most time, meaning he don't care how many minutes they get. We just need you on the floor because you're the best player I got.
He'll play 8 when OG comes back, but it took OG going down for him to even entertain playing Achua.
Okay.
And if and you could go back and look at the first couple of games and you could see that. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say. So when he gets back, then Achua's minutes go back down. You still down to 7.
Y'all
mapping ain't mapping.
He'll play 8 when Anobi comes back. But the thing that he's gotten better at, right? He's gotten better at, in my opinion, in this series, due to injuries, he's got better at dispersing some of those minutes. You saw tonight, you saw some dudes, those other 2 dudes got like 20 minutes. Typically with them,
we got Jalen Brunson with 43, we got McBride with 40, and Josh Hart with 39.
Exactly.
Yeah, all right, Dex, is that
everybody
too many
in the starting lineup play 30 minutes or more? Come on, quick.
So is that too many, Dex?
Yeah, but the dudes who weren't in the starting, lineup,
especially with the injuries you have.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, Dex. So that's why I'm asking you guys this question. Is that a recipe for winning a championship? Not the second round, not the Eastern Conference Finals, but a championship. Is that a recipe for winning a championship?
Well, we're going to find out.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it's not one. I mean, traditionally in the postseason, teams extend out to 8 players and usually play like the 9th, maybe go 10 or whatever. Teams do tighten up their bench in the postseason. And the only reason this is an issue is because the Knicks have dudes that are. I mean, the Knicks have
Injured.
a lot of dudes who are injured.
That's right.
Some of those dudes was injured before we even came in. Let's just keep it real.
Okay, well, prime
listen,
example.
hold on. So if Julius Randle was there, OG
Yes.
Anunoby was there, and Mitchell Robinson was there, would he still play a 7-8 man rotation?
Well,
he go to
that's
8.
a good question. That's the
No,
great question. And
Well, I
Dex,
can answer that question right now.
Dex
Right
is-
now. Listen, OG's going to get more than 10 minutes a game. I don't care if he's coming off the bench. Julius Randle is going to start. You know he's going to get double figures in minutes. So you're going to automatically go up at least one player, Dex. That'll be 8.
But Chua ain't playing if they're fully healthy. I promise you that too.
No, that's why I'm not. I didn't mention him. Now, when you got your center back too, I figure he should get double minutes. So he should have a 9-man rotation.
Right. But you know who I'm happy to see get their minutes is McBride, because McBride was on fire at the end of the season, guys. He really was, and he has not shown up this postseason. So I was glad to see him because he was one of those X factors. I said, if McBride plays well, I mean, the Knicks got it. If McBride plays well, and I'm glad to see him finally, stepping up and actually performing well. But those other 2 guys got at least 20 minutes. It wasn't.
And I want to get Dex some props of what he said.
Yeah.
Because, listen, if you're going to win a championship, and that's only with me being a couch potato sitting on the sideline, I don't know exactly, but it seems this way. The 31 minutes from Hartenstein, the 43 minutes from Brunson in Game 6 this was Game 6. The 40 minutes for McBride, 39 minutes from Hart, and 30 minutes from
Game 5. This is Game 5.
Marvin.
I'm sorry, Game 5. I'm sorry. All right, meaning there's more to be played then, which means it's even longer, which is even worse. Those are little heavy minutes. Now, I understand these guys are undermanned. I understand that. And this, to me, because I asked a lot of guys when I be on different podcasts, was tonight a must-win game? A lot of them was like, no. Well, to me, it was. Tonight,
yes, it's a must-win game.
Yes, it was a must-win game for the Knicks. It really was. Now, the next game is a must-win for the Pacers.
No, when the series is tied 2-2, and you're going into Game 5, it's a must-win game for either team. Because that gives you control of the series.
That's
because you only need to win 1 instead of winning 2.
That's
and
right.
you can win that 1 on your home floor. So this is why they call game 5 when the series 2-2 pivotal.
Yes,
Right.
pivotal Game 5.
And the reason why this was also and to follow up to piggyback on what Dex is saying, the reason why this was an important game that the Pacers wanted to put a better effort in stealing is because I believe OG Anunoby, he might actually show up for this next game.
You're right. And which would make a difference in that Boston series is what I want to really let a lot of people know. If he has a chance to get back on this squad healthy, that tips the scales on that ball. If the Knicks get past this series, that tips the scales to me on that Boston series a lot more than a lot of people think. Because I remember I mentioned this to you, Quez, about have you ever seen OG play man-to-man a full game against Jason Tatum? And if you haven't, you need to.
Well, I mean, this series is not over. New York is in control. There's, like you said, Marvin, there's a lot of basketball to be played.
Yes.
And I don't think it's fair to just hopscotch over the Indiana Pacers because of their performance tonight. Now, we know that Tommy T is going to have one of these type of games where all of his players collectively are in alignment to his strategy. And that happened because the Indiana Pacers are one of, if not the highest scoring team, I know they have the fastest pace in the NBA this season, only netted 91 points in 48 minutes of basketball. That is a telltale sign of how grimy the New York Knicks can be. And when you look at the tail of the tape, it's polar opposite because nearly every single player in the Indiana uniform was negative in the plus and minus except one. So that's like 90% of the players, or maybe higher, right? We could say 95% of the players of the Indiana Pacers were negative in the plus minus ratio. On the flip side of that, or the other end of the spectrum, you got 100% of the New York Knickerbockers in uniform that are plus in the plus minus category. Whether you give it any credence or not, I don't know. But it just showed that they were determined to win this game. And there was focus and their awareness was heightened. And they knew coming back to the Mecca, it was do or die for them.
Yeah.
And they survived the encounter. Shout out to the New York Knicks.
Yes, and I want to piggyback on that too, Dex, because just a day ago or 2 days ago, it was almost panic because those same numbers you just gave were in favor of Indiana, plus minus. And it looked like New York was just out of gas. Oh, man, they got blew out by 39, 40. Oh, man, what's going on? Then you go back home and you flip-flop that plus minus. Now, is it momentum? Is it better play? We don't know. Now, if this next game shows,
I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah, well, I want to say this: if this next game shows plus minus in favor of Indiana and they win the game by 20, what does that mean for Game 7? I want to know.
I think what it means. Oh, go ahead, please.
Well, I think that you underestimate something. I mean, that last game. First off, that last game.
Brunson.
Yeah, that last game. I'm not gonna lie. Brunson didn't show up in that last game. The Pacers, as a team, outplayed the Knicks all across the board.
Can it happen again?
The last game, the Pacers did a much better job of rebounding. Plus, we all know that teams play better when they're at home. So I think they got a little playing at home.
There we go. That's the answer I wanted.
They got to boost that home, and they got off to a fiery start. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I got to give Halliburton credit. He came into that game, played with a purpose from the very beginning of that game, got him out to a big lead. And you know what I mean? And everybody played together. He got they really did their thing in that game.
Yeah.
Here they came into the Garden in a series splitter where they need to steal one, and they thoroughly got outplayed. And all throughout the series, if we take away and we take away our outlier games, the Knicks have thoroughly outperformed this team on the boards.
Yeah,
thoroughly throughout the entire series. Yeah. Other than the exception that last game where they played the best basketball they played all series.
Okay. All right. And before you go, Dex, I'm just going to give you this to run with. Are these games the games where the superstars show up when you go into New York in Game 5 and you need to win a game?
Yes, and I was going to highlight that earlier, but it escaped me when I saw these mind-boggling numbers from both teams that represent the opposite side of the spectrum. The thing about that is when you go to the Garden, either you're going to be on ice skates or stilts. So what you going to do, slide around or stand tall? And it looks like some people, they crumble when they get into that Garden. They see those bright lights and they, walk up and down Manhattan, and see all the neon lights and marquees and things of that nature. Some people cannot uphold themselves when it comes to competition in that kind of environment. And so the New York Madison Square Garden has a mystique to it based on the nomenclature as the Mecca. And that mystique either brings out of you the best or you'll succumb to the rest.
Yeah.
And what we have seen so far in this series in Madison Square Garden, the little engine who could have brought out the best, and his counterpart, Tyrese Halliburton, just dealt with the rest.
Okay. All right. So, final question to you guys on this series: who wins Game 6?
I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I feel that the Knicks will go in there and steal that game. Now I'm gonna tell you the reason why I feel that way. Let's go back to Game 3. That was a close game. You saw that game, right, Dex? That was a really good game. I'm sure you saw that one as well, Marvin, right?
Yep.
So this is the beautiful thing about actually playing at home. Your others, as Shaq likes to always say, they're encouraged at home. Game 3, your boy Nembhard won that game for them. That boy Nembhard was ice cold with that shot. Somebody said that shot was luck. I'm like, how's a shot luck when it's nothing but net? Mind you, he's not the typical person you would figure would have the ice in their veins to ice that game. But I mean, that was a phenomenal shot. And that's what you can do when you're at home. But the Knicks were not folding. The Knicks played very poor down the stretch of that game. And this series is starting to get really scrappy going both ways. I mean, there's a lot of turnovers going both ways. I feel as though the Knicks will fight for Game 6. OG Anunoby might be back in that game. And when you have everything on the line, like we just got finished talking about those bright lights, there may be a lot more pressure on the Pacers not to lose that game. So,
okay. All right. So you got the Knicks.
I feel as though the Knicks can go in there and steal that game. Of course, I'm not putting a guarantee on it like Charles Barkley guarantee, but I do think go in and steal that game.
Okay. Before you go, Dex, I want to say this because I want both of you guys to remember this. Game 2 in New York was very close. Very close.
Yes, it was.
Go ahead, Dex. Give me your prediction.
I'm going to take Indiana and to tie the series because I just think that the NBA want this series to be extended to 7, and then it's just a coin flip, So I think Indiana will go back down to Naptown and get the love of the officiating, and Tyrese Halliburton can pick his head back up because he will have a decent game. I say Tyrese Halliburton have a near triple, 20-something point triple double in a victory, and it'll be tied up going back to the Mecca 3-3.
Okay.
Boy,
I'm gonna give you guys my prediction. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say something that's probably it's not gonna shock you guys, but it's gonna be. I want you guys to look out for it. First of all, is Game 6 in Indiana the game that really makes Brunson? Because listen, guys, if he goes in Naptown and win this game, this will push the New York Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals. If Brunson goes in this Game 6 and scores another 35, 37, 36, 32, 41 points, and the Knicks win, his legacy of a New York Knicks player is risen. So, and this ain't even the Eastern Conference Finals, guys. But for him to do, first of all, they just did it in Philly. If Brunson and the Knicks, because I'm not going to leave out the whole team, if Brunson and the New York Knicks can go into Indiana and in this series and Brunson shines, I think we're looking at a little monster growing in New York. And I'm telling you this now. The confidence that it would give to Brunson and the New York and the media and to the fans, come on, let's not leave them out, would be enormous. It will be all over the media. And the Knicks fans deserve it. They really do. I can remember this same time last year, us laughing at the Knicks, us having jokes about the New York Knicks. I remember me being on this channel, Flight Sports, us talking to Marquez, him fading, leaving the team because of how bad they were. Him
I think
sure
that was
enough
the year
saying,
before last,
yeah,
not
but
last year.
still, but we all can remember that. It's fresh in our memory. It's not 20 years, it's not 15, it's not 5. It's within a year and a half, 2 years. And now we're talking about them possibly getting to the Eastern Conference Finals after being a 2 seed and winning 50 games in the NBA season. If Brunson can win this next game, his name is going to be in lights all over, not just New York, but everywhere. And my prediction is this. It's going to happen, guys. You know why? First of all, the same thing you just said, Dex. Yeah, NBA wanted Game 7, but they want a superstar too. They want the next guy to make it just shine. They want that. And I'm not saying, because referees do make a difference. They do. And they don't even cry about that because they're gonna make the calls hubble bubble. But I believe that the Knicks can go in here and win this next game, Dex. Not only because I think they're a better team, in which they are, but because they have a lot of things to prove. A lot to prove. They have a lot of critics to just to make them shut up. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to do it, but I'm predicting them to win Game 6 simply because they're a better team. Now, if that happens, I'm going to come back on the show. I ain't going to be excited because, the Knicks are not basically my team, but I just feel it. I feel it. Because if I felt tonight was a critical game in this series, and I know we all did, but I felt tonight was more of a critical game by winning by 15 or more than it was by winning by 2. The Knicks showed their dominance tonight, guys. They really did. They showed they were a better team. They showed they were a better show going further in the playoffs. What's more pretty? Boston against Indiana? Cleveland against Indiana? Boston against New York? Boston against Indiana? Come on, guys. You know the answer to that. Listen, the New York Knicks have a chance right now, even if they don't win the finals or get to the finals. They have a chance right now to really have put a lot of things in a lot of people's head in the NBA about, whoa, man, we need to look out for this team because they're doing something without a full squad. They're doing something without a complete team. If you look, and I mentioned this earlier today, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If the Knicks were fully, I'm talking fully healthy, they would beat anybody in the NBA right now. Because a lot of people forget how good Julian Randle was and is. Randle is a bull.
Exactly.
Is a true bull. I ain't talking about a little bull. He's a big time bull. And against anybody.
He's a Brahma bull.
I'm sorry?
He's a Brahma bull.
Yes, he is. He's that bull who beat up other bulls. I'm like this. If that guy, because I have always defended Randle. I don't care. I wanted Randle on the Bulls for so damn long. I don't know what the hell. I done told New York fans, if you hate him that much, just give him to us. I know how good he is.
And
Randle is a horse.
One series for the Knicks in the postseason, so it's not like Randle is, and he's a dude who's just a walking double-double automatically. I think
no. It's not just that. It's rebounding. It's rebounding. His defense is not that, elite, but it's rebounding.
I just said
his drawing fouls. He draws so many fouls. Remember this, guys. He draws so many fouls.
And he's a bucket.
He's a bucket getter, dude. Now remember, we all know what the playoffs are based on. They slow it down. Randle is a prime playoff player. Prime time playoff player. Prime time playoff player. I'm telling you guys. Now, that's neither here nor there because they're not there. But I think the Knicks should or are going to win Game 6. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Let you guys go to the next subject.
Well, I just want to add one little thing. I got to get out of here and go get back to my studying. But let me just share this with you, right? I'm going to say one thing that I agree with you on. The Knicks are a better team than the Pacers, and it's not because of because the Pacers do something that will convince you that they're a really good team. When you look at them and you go into the box score and you take looking at their offense, you see they've got 12 players contributing, with points, and everybody's got 12 points or 10 points, and somebody's got 15, but most of them got like 10 and 12. It looks good. You know what I mean? But this is the thing. The Knicks have consistently out-rebounded this team.
Yes.
And they dominate them on the paint. Now, this is what nobody talked about that last game when the Knicks got blown up. That guy, Hartenstein, he had some sort of nerve issue in his damn shoulder. Did you see the game he put on tonight?
Yeah. Well,
right.
Are we dismissing Hart with 17 rebounds and 11 rebounds and 12?
I'm getting around to my point here. Just let me finish cooking here, Marvin. Look, Jalen Brunson is the leader of the Knicks. He's the one dude on the squad who can generate his own offense. But he's not marching alone. This team is with him. Do you know that before that last game, this man who's going a little bit cold, my man DiVincenzo was averaging like 28 points a game.
Yes.
All right. Listen, and if it ain't him, you talk about triple doubles. My man Josh Hart can go out there and get a triple double. And I don't know if you've been paying attention to the Knicks, but that dude be ice cold at the end of a basketball game. Also, these dudes ain't scared. And something about Tibbs, we were talking about, the way he plays. But when he does get these guys on the court, he gets something out of them. Achua, Alec Burks, dudes who are sitting around. Like, these dudes come out ready to play. The Knicks, I just think the Knicks are really flat out just for the couple of things there's a couple of things I have issues with the Pacers. I just think the Knicks are just the overall better team. Now, Halliburton has to come out and show up. He has to come out and show up in this next game, because I'm gonna be honest with you, the Pacers are outmatched. I think the Knicks are gonna out-rebound them at home, and it's gonna start getting cold near the end of that basketball game.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, Halliburton needs to be Brunson in this next game. Real simple.
I don't think Halliburton's better than Brunson. And that's just
no. I said he needs to be a Brunson in this next game. He needs to be the best. He needs to be the best player on the Indiana Pacers for them to win this next game.
You know what I noticed about Halliburton? Because I like Halliburton a little. I like Halliburton a lot, to be honest with you. But I'm very even keel with like all players, even the ones I like. You know what I mean? You got to hold them accountable to showing up to get the most out of them. Halliburton has a lot of flat-footed shots, and he has a lot of range in his shots. There are a lot of times where he takes shots where he's really open and it just seems like practice shots. I think Game 6, the Knicks are coming out there. They know what's on the line. I think the Knicks defensively, with the pressure that they apply, I think they're going to do a much better concerted job of actually, not giving those open shots. That shot by Nembhard in Game 3, I'm gonna be honest with you, that was cold-blooded.
Yeah,
I love that shot. I love
it. It was
shot.
way behind the 3-point line too. To put that,
and it wasn't even like it wasn't even like the dude was open. I mean, the man was covered too. I mean, he actually had balls to take that shot. But I'm bringing that up to just remind us all, because we always like to heap all of the glory on this one person who plays the hero. The key to the reason why the Knicks are a great team is because they don't really play hero ball. And if you want to win, even a dude who's playing phenomenal, you're gonna need those other dudes who aren't afraid to step up in that critical situation to take a shot sometime, because everybody knows who is supposed to take that shot. So salute to those dudes like the Nembhards out there who don't get all of the credit. And Nembhard remember, Marvin, he was having a bad game that game.
Yeah. Well, he was forcing that shot. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, the Knicks not necessarily intentionally left him wide open, because he shot a fucking 39-footer. But they weren't going to let Halliburton beat him.
Right. And I mean, it wasn't like, but the thing I'm saying is that Nembhard shot the shot. He knew he was shooting that ball when he got it, pretty much.
It was a tie game too when he hit that shot.
Yeah, guys. I mean, and that was a shot that was really the dagger. But that shot wasn't a wide open shot. It's just he shot it from far. There's only but so far you're gonna go out to really cover a person super close. You know what I mean? And he shot it from kind of far out. It was a very cold-blooded shot. But the Pacers need to remember, if they want to have a chance of winning this next game, they need to remember that they brought Siakam there for a reason.
Yeah.
They need to remember when these guys get hot, which they haven't shown me they can do consistently. when you get your guys going, you got to sometimes get them the basketball, and they forget that a lot. You know who?
Okay.
You know who's one of the best players for the Pacers against the Knicks? Quiet as kept.
McConnell?
Yes, that
I already
guy
know. I already
McConnell be
know.
showing up.
I already know. But
That
hold on,
dude
wait,
be
Quez.
balling.
Wait. But so what you telling me? You supposed to isolate him? Come on now.
Nah, man, McConnell is I hate looking at that Jimmy Chipwood looking MFer on the court, man.
And he kill you every fucking time. But I say again, so what? We supposed to isolate him? No. Come on now.
You just got to
come
be
on.
careful with him. That dude right there is the type of dude that's a dude that'll change that'll turn the tide in your favor. I don't know.
He's a scrappy, just go get it, just all out on the ground, bust his mouth, trying to dive for a ball kind of guy. Real simple.
But the thing about him is that sometimes more so than Halliburton, he doesn't forget that he's a point guard. He facilitates people.
Oh yes, for sure.
And really facilitate people and stuff like that. And he doesn't get away from that. Sometimes I think the Halliburton thing is he gets in between his thing. Like these past couple of games, he hasn't really assisted the ball super great. He had a decent assist night tonight, but Halliburton was getting like 15 and 20 assists. And I was trying to tell my people, I watched some of them games. Some of those.
I want to give a shout out, man. I want to give a shout out to somebody in the chat.
Yeah.
I think I'm reading his name correctly. Is that my homeboy Unstoppable in the chat? If it is, shout out to Unstoppable.
Oh,
I ain't forgot about it.
Pop up on the panel. I'm about to dip out of here for a second. You know, Unstoppable, he got the sauce.
Yeah, that's my partner, man. Well, listen, man. Dex, are you still there? Are you still on the panel? If he's not, listen, I have to go too because I got something to do here in New York.
Okay, we can shut it down. No big deal.
Kudos to everybody, man. And Dex, I don't know. I know you don't know when Flight's going to do another one. I'm pretty sure when the Knicks play again, I'm going to be back because Game 6 to me and all of us obviously is a critical game. I'm not saying Game 7 won't be if it happens, but I'm gonna ask both of you guys before I go. Does Indiana have the heart to win Game 6?
I think they have the heart, and they're going to have to at home. That's where they play basketball. I just don't think they're going to do it.
Dex, what you say?
I already told you I think Indiana would take Game 6 and it would go 7. And New York Knicks will close them out at 7 in a miraculous game that will go down as an instant classic in New York Knicks folklore.
Okay, all right. Well, following up on that then, Dex, is this far as the Knicks goes? Is this good enough for New York for them to get there and then lose maybe to Boston or Cleveland?
Well, nobody expected the Knicks to get past the second round. So getting past the second round, they have exceeded most expectations. Now, once you get into the Western Conference Final, hey, it's 50-50, baby. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they can beat Boston, but I highly doubt it. But
and if they beat Boston,
definitely have a punch of chance with the little engine he could.
And if they beat Boston, does the mindset of everybody change if they get in the finals against the Denver or whoever from the West?
They're not winning no championship this year. They're not going to beat Minnesota. They're not going to beat Denver.
That's what I was at. That's the answer I wanted. You see them going as far as maybe the Eastern Conference Championship. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I see them definitely going to the Eastern Conference Championship because they don't win.
I said winning. I said you see them as going as far as winning the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I think that's their height. I think that's their height right there. And the ceiling stops there. And then when they do get into the NBA Finals, I mean, man, New York is going to erupt. But they're going to get their ass whooped.
Oh, damn, Dex. Don't say there's too many New York fans out there. Don't say that.
I mean, you got to be real. The Knicks are, first off, just like Dex said, nobody expected the Knicks to win. I mean, if we came into the season and we said 4 of the top players, including the dude that we traded for, you know what I mean, were injured, and then we'd actually win in the second round, I mean, they think it was crazy. Nobody expected the Knicks to finish the second seed in the East either.
That's what I was just going to say. They won 50 games. They were the number 2 seed.
Yeah, so I mean, this is definitely the underdog story of the year.
Okay.
No, that's not the underdog story of the year. OKC is the underdog
Yeah,
story
OKC
of the
would
year.
be right
Those
now
are the
because of how
real
young they are.
cardiac
Because of how they,
kicks.
only because of how
The
young they are.
Knicks made the playoffs last season, and they did get to the second round.
All right.
They got eliminated. So no,
I'm going to tell
If you-
both of you guys that I'm going to take this
you're putting
talk.
a 20 on the 10.
I'm going to take this
About to
talk
go
somewhere
further
else
So
because I love what you guys are talking about. I love the confidence, but I disagree with Dex on one thing, and that is this. I do not underestimate the Knicks as much as you do, Dex. I don't. You know why? Because if
Yeah, you say
Tom
that to say
Thibodeau,
what?
I'm saying it to say this. If Tom Thibodeau can get in the finals, anything can happen. That's all I'm going to tell you.
anything is possible.
If Thibodeau, he's a special coach, guys. If his players don't run out of gas, anything can happen. Peace, guys. Hey, man, it's been great. I know Flight's going to be back on the next Knicks game, so I will too.
All right, take care, fellas. Good chatting with you guys.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, salute everybody. We want to thank everybody that joined us tonight on this stream powered by Flight Sports. And we want to welcome you to our treasure trove of a wealth of content presented by Flight in his library. You go down into the vault and pick a video and enjoy how Flight breaks down the atmosphere at that particular time. So please support the channel with Super Chat, PayPal, Cash App, and let's continue to roll into the summer with great momentum for your generosity towards the channel. Don't be ashamed, don't be abashed, and don't be regretful, because every minutia of generosity that you extend from yourself towards the channel will be used appropriately. And you can witness the channel grow and become more aesthetic with your generosity every step of the way. So be a brick in the wall, put some skin in the game, and attach yourself to Flight Sports TV whenever you see it.
This is Holly Heat of the Hot Seat with Holly Heat, and this is Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV.